Outstanding. It's the ultimate accolade for teachers. We challenge primary teacher Steve Kubersing to go from good to outstanding. A top inspector observes one lesson. 2 experts fine-tune his practice and beef up his presentation. He then gets 2 weeks to take on the advice before the inspector comes back for the final verdict.
I don't think it's easy to become outstanding because I don't think anything's easy. I think everything you want, you have to work for.
What was interesting for me was that I was sort of desperate at one point to see you do a bit of teaching. Yeah? What you do is you get a lot from the children.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not talking about 20 minutes of didactic teaching, standing there at the front, you know, but 1 or 2 minutes of modelling and demonstrating the lesson to them, actually showing them the learning. So with the coordinates, right, guys, this is what the lesson's about. Let me just show you what I mean by coordinates, actually doing that, and then saying to the kids, right, so you have a go.
I also want to make sure that I don't inhibit the creativity because sometimes I think if things are too prescribed, you don't allow for going with what the children feel, need, or are interested in. And I think if I stick to something too rigidly and forget about the children, I would be scared that you don't engage them anymore, and then learning will stop.
But having that bigger picture means that you've got that framework, because obviously, yes, we do want to take the children's interests, we do want to take the learning from them and push them forward, but it's got to be done within a framework.
Sure,
we've got to make sure that we're driving along the same learning journey, otherwise we end up on a different motorway altogether.
Yeah. I've just come out of this session and it's been quite a long day, and what I really need to do, I really need to think about this. Today it's been an interesting experience. I think for me, I can just build on what I do, but it makes me feel like I'm going in the right direction.
So with Steve's final observation just weeks away, it's back to the classroom to put all that advice into action and raise his game.
What we're going to do today is we're going to be looking at planning the unit. Why do you think I've created this shop in the corner here? What do you think our unit's going to be, and how will this help us?
I think we got that shop so we can learn about money.
When we've got our shop in the corner, what does it represent?
Real life!
Right, so now our maths becomes more
real life!
This is a kind of first time I've got to really trial out some things from the clinic. You know, the model that Darren talked about the real world, the maths world, and then going back to the real world. And that really kind of inspired me to create a shop. We're going to plan a party, okay? Our party. What do we need to do to get there?
We have to start buying food.
Okay, right. What do we need to make sure we can do? Obviously, we need to add properly, okay? We need to do addition, so we need to do that. Remember, we're using money, so what do we need to know? Sorry? Multiplication, of course.
Division.
Right? Percentages. Oh, there's a lot of things here. What was new for me was us planning the unit together. I kind of, put a finish line, but I kind of bullet pointed, things that we need to do. Now, all of us might not cover all of these things, yeah? But what we will do is we will have a tick list and see which ones we've covered. I think they will really be relating everything they do into a context, into something that's meaningful for them. That's really going to work well, and I think that's something that I will definitely, keep doing. Here's the £1.28 at the bottom here, and there's my £2 there. So, think about your multiples.
I had a 2.
Right. What's that going to get me to now? Kierit?
£1.30.
£1.30, okay? I've got a lovely bunch of bananas. Right. And what I want you to do is show me, using the same method, my bananas are 47 pence, I've got £2, and I need to get some change. Right, can everyone show me their whiteboards now? Who did it in 3 jumps? Susie,
First, I added 3 pence.
First, she added 3 pence. What does that bring us to? 50 pence. The ideas that we discussed, Darren and I, are quite conducive with my style of teaching. The only thing that I always do is I always give it to the children. That's really important for me. I still wouldn't just stand there modelling to the whole class. I will do to aspects of it. However, I really think it's important for the children to keep thinking, keep challenging, keep thinking. Well done. Excellent for that. Thank you very much.
With Judgment Day looming, Darren calls to find out how Steve's getting on.
Hello, Darren.
Hi, Steve. How's things going?
What I found really useful, and the children really enjoy it, is the model that you said about real life, a maths world, and bringing it back to real life. And we've done that. We've actually incorporated, now we've built a little shop in the corner. The unit that we're covering, it lends itself, we're actually going to have a party. So they really do see the finish line for them is built in with real life, because they really see the point of what we're doing, and they're enthusiastic. And
they're all working towards this goal.
That's
together.
it.
Well, I wish you all the best of your
Well,
observations.
thank you very much, Darren, and we'll speak again soon.
The day of Steve's last observation has arrived. Time to de-stress before the final verdict.
A little bit apprehensive about this one, more so than the last one. I mean, I have done quite a lot of preparation in terms of being able to make the modelling and the children's learning move on. Kind of developed these mission cards. These basically are a way of giving the children their individual learning intentions. Okay, this relates to our learning journey. We've got where we're going to start, the finish line, and these are our hurdles that we'll get over. But I've actually taken this literally. You'll see how it all comes together during the lesson. I don't want to spoil it for you.
Claire Gillies is back, and it's crunch time. With all that expert advice and weeks of practice behind him, will Steve have made it? From good to outstanding.
Let's go.
100, 200, 300.
At the end, I will start to reflect on what was it the teacher was doing that made those pupils learn, that helped those pupils to enjoy learning, that helped them to want to be absorbed and involved.
Who's ready for the dots?
Yeah.
Right, ready?
Yes. Double.
Halve it.
What was it? Oh, yeah.
Oh, what was it? 5. Right. What have we been doing this week? Sylvester?
Money and real life.
Money and real life. At the end, and our finish line, we're going to have a party. What are these?
Hurdles.
Right. What sort of hurdles are we going to try and get over to get to the end? Ref? Addition. We will be looking at adding, won't we? Okay. We're thinking about adding. What sort of language would we be using? Total. Why is everyone saying, ah? He said it right.
Yeah.
That's it. I tell you what's really worked for me is I really like the idea of the moving the success criteria. Making the children aware, giving them ownership of what we're aiming for, the finish line, the journey.
I think the finishing line is good because it's like a award for us. And it's like we've done all that work and then it's like there is no point of just doing it for nothing. So I think we should get an award.
If you have a quick look on your desks, you'll have your mission cards. What I want to do today is to use many of the skills we've been learning throughout the past week to try and accomplish your mission. Would someone from this group like to read out their mission?
You are responsible for the cakes, juices and ice cream. You'll write a list calculating the total.
I think the mission cards work really well. That's a good way of differentiating the learning according to ability, so there isn't just one set learning intention. Okay, what's 4 5s? 4 5s? 4 times 5? 20, okay. What's 4 times 6? Right, and then 4 times 8?
activity.
Right.
I could understand, like, you had to work out the price for 30 children because you were times them, but I didn't get the dividing bit.
What were the main operations that you guys used here? Addition. Okay. What were you guys doing over here?
Multiply and take away.
It's a little bit challenging, isn't it? Yes, it's challenging, but we need to keep going, okay? Right, it is tricky at first, but what will it get? Easier.
If I look at the lesson as a whole, there were some really super features there. Some of which I spotted last time and some of which have sort of emerged this time. And there were some things that didn't quite work, that it was so ambitious.
Yeah. Yes, yes.
And I mean, it's wonderful to have
High
super
expectations,
challenge and
yeah.
high expectations and all that, but perhaps it was almost just too much. Just looking at some of the specific strengths of the lesson, we got off to a lovely start with just the simple getting our hundreds, tens and units clear in our mind without and linked to the body movements. I just wondered whether we spent perhaps a little bit too long on the whole idea of the hurdles that we face, which is obviously brilliant for them to see that in coping with money in real life, because I think it then meant you slightly had to gather pace when introducing the different work for the different tables, and just adjusting the balance. Would that have perhaps got us off to a more flying start?
For me and for them, I think we're embedding this idea.
I love the idea it's hard and it gets easier and that,
Yeah, and I think as we progress, for another topic, I'll use the same format and we'll both get quicker at it.
This one here, I thought that by the stage of getting 7 packets of jumbo crisps for £1.25p was going to give them real, because they couldn't really work out what 1 packet cost. That challenged them quite a lot. You were expecting really high levels of thinking, and the compliment to your teaching and your rapport with them is how hard they worked. And that spirit of having a go, keeping going, is not something you can possibly generate in one lesson. You've generated that over time. So I don't think we can say the lesson was outstanding, but I think if we couple your definite outstanding skills with some really interesting developments in the relevance and, how you're presenting materials, you're close to that, and I'm certain you're going to be hitting the outstanding lessons on many occasions. Thank you very much again for letting me share that lesson.
Thank you very much for coming to see us. Thank you. 2 things I'd take away is make sure lessons relate to the real world, put it in context, bring it back to the maths world or literacy world, whatever, and then back to the real world. That's really important. And another thing I'd take away is don't go against the grain, your natural style. I think you gradually implement new ideas. If you try to shift too quickly, it just doesn't work straight away. And things don't happen overnight. And not every lesson can be outstanding. It's 3 things.